Good evening, Dr. Adedamala Olafai.
Good evening, madam. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, sir. Happy weekend, sir.
Thank you.
Our teachers, we have to wait for them. We have to wait for them for a while to converge before I can introduce you, sir.
No problem. Okay, I'll also be sharing the link to YouTube for those who
To YouTube.
just want people to join
Okay, sir.
through Zoom and join through YouTube. I'll send it to you and you share it on the platform.
All right, sir.
So I've shared the link
I've
to
seen it, sir.
YouTube. Madam, yes, sir.
Sir?
Okay. I want to know if you can still talk because I've muted everybody except you.
Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
It's okay. When you want us to start,
Nobody has joined yet.
I think we are good to
Okay,
go.
I've seen we have some participants, like 37 participants.
Let's start by 8 to 10 then. What number we
By
have?
8:10. All right, sir.
8 to 10. Yes, please.
All right, sir. So when you start, you can maybe mute everyone.
Everybody is muted except you.
Introduction. Dr. Alofa, we can kickstart now, sir.
Right.
So you can open for everyone so that we can hear their responses.
No, we won't do that. Please. They can send chats to respond.
Okay, they can send chat. All right, that's true.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, go to your chat box and say, I can hear you. Please go to your chat box and type, I can hear you. Thank you for the responses. Good evening, everyone. I welcome all educators to tonight's training. This is the EduBells Educational Consult in collaboration with EduNoms Consult. We'll be having a series of seminars and workshops on EduBells platforms and EduNoms platforms as well. This is the second of its edition 2.0 training we'll be having in year 2026, and I welcome everyone. When I say educators, I'm talking about proprietors, proprietaries, head of schools, class teachers, subject teachers, and etc. I'm using this medium to welcome our speaker or our trainer for tonight in the person of Dr. Adedamola Olofa. Please, can you welcome Dr. Adedamola to today's training through your chat box? Please, let's welcome him. Let's welcome him. You can use your emoji. You can also send a chat. I'm going to read through his portfolio briefly. Dr. Adedamola, PFILMMD, FCE, CMP, education consultant, school improvement specialist / curriculum developer, teacher, trainer, author. Dr. Adedamola Olofa is an experienced school growth strategist, curriculum developer, and school leadership coach with over 3 decades of experience spanning early years, primary, secondary, and tertiary education. He is a lead consultant of EduNoms Consulting Nigeria and lead coach of the Education Business School, where he provides a training and consultancy services to schools, teachers, school owners, and education organizations across Nigeria. His expertise includes early years foundation stage, EYFS, British and Nigerian curriculum development, school leadership and management, teacher professional development, learning performance improvement, curriculum design and assessment, education and technology and artificial intelligence, AI integration, school assurance, and educational consulting and school startup advisory. Dr. Orlofa has developed numerous curriculum frameworks, school schemes of work, lesson plans, assessment tools, and school improvement resources aligned with the British EYFS, Cambridge International Curriculum, and the Nigerian National Curriculum. He is also an author of several educational publications and training manuals covering 1. EYFS curriculum, 2. School leadership, 3. Teacher effectiveness, 4. Learning performance improvement, 5. Educational technology, and 6. Artificial intelligence for teachers. His passion is helping schools build sustainable systems that improve teaching quality, learners' outcomes, and organizational excellence. One more time, with a round of applause through your emojis or in the chat box, let's welcome Dr. Adedamola Olofa to today's training.
Okay, thank you
You're
very much,
welcome,
everybody.
sir. You're on the floor now,
Thank you.
sir.
All right, good evening, dear all. We are welcome to tonight's session. Already, my name has been mentioned. And that's all about it. So we start. Our topic tonight is simply to introduce us to the British curriculum and its inclusion in Nigerian schools. And emphasis will be on structures, subjects, and strands. Structures of the Nigerian and the British, the subjects we have there, and then the strands. So first thing I want to say to us is about a common misconception about schools in Nigeria that are running the British curriculum. Your school partisan inclusion, or including the British curriculum in the Nigerian curriculum. Your school, including integrating, blending, adding, merging the British curriculum to the Nigerian curriculum. Some people are from Ghana here, some people are from Cote d'Ivoire. So let me use the word national curriculum. National curriculum for Nigeria, national curriculum for Nigeria, for Ghana, for Benin, for Liberia, anyone at all, wherever. So you integrating English curriculum into your curriculum is you can use the word integration, you can use the word integration, inclusion, blending, you can use any word. Now, the first thing I want to say is to demystify something, a common misconception about schools. There's a time I posted something on a platform that are full of professors and doctors and the big wigs in education. Maybe some of them are even here. I posted there that okay, there's a training for British curriculums and that, and somebody just came up and fired at me. Why are you talking about British curriculum? What's wrong with the Nigerian curriculum? What's wrong with the Nigerian curriculum? Well, I asked him only one question. I said, sir, I check your number just now. Your number started with +44. I then asked him, sir, what are you doing in the UK? If the Nigerian curriculum is enough, what are you doing in the UK? He had been in the UK for a long time there. So now, what we are saying that if you have to include the British curriculum in the Nigerian curriculum, that inclusion is not a replacement of our curriculum. It is not a replacement of our values. It is not a replacement of our culture. Including the British curriculum is simply an enhancement. It's not a replacement, it's an enhancement. Now, without me at all apologizing for anything, when you know that what you have is below what someone else has, you will go to the person that have more than you and get more from the person. That is why most of us, especially the elites in Nigeria, they send their teaching their children abroad to go and school abroad, different places abroad. UK is one of such schools. Don't also forget that the root Nigerian curriculum is British, because the British colonized us and they gave us a curriculum which was being stepped down to become a schemes of work. So the original Nigerian curriculum is British by roots. And then when you integrate the British curriculum into a Nigerian school, You're not erasing what already exists. You are enriching it. Enriching it because that part of the world is very developed, is highly developed. We use their vehicles, we use their computers, we use their clothes, we use their engines, we use many things about them. We even wear their clothes. Check what you're wearing now. Almost all of us are wearing a shirt or skirt, a gown, a singlet, and all those things. This is not a new colonialism, no. It is just that these people have it, we need it, we go forward. Now there are countries in Africa that have gone beyond this level. They don't at all need anything called British curriculum. Example of such country is South Africa and Rwanda. They have gone far. They don't bother at all about, but the government of this country, they are trying their best, but it is not just enough. And you will see reasons why we don't have a choice but to enrich our curriculum with the parent curriculum, which is British. And as I always say, when you hear the word the British curriculum is not just one curriculum. There are many curricula under the British curriculum, just like we have it in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have, when you say the Nigerian curriculum or you say any of this curriculum, there are many of them. We have the one for the nursery, we have the one for the primary, we have the one for the lower secondary, we have the one for upper senior secondary. Okay, they are all Nigerian curriculum. BEC is a curriculum, and ECCD for the nursery is a curriculum, as BEC is curriculum for the primary. Okay, that is 9 years program. We also have the other one, SSC is also a curriculum on its own. Okay, so we have more than that. So please, this evening, note this as we start, that including the British curriculum in the Nigerian curriculum or your country or your national curriculum is not to replace it. It is to enrich it. It is to enhance it. I'm sure that one sinks. And now, as I was talking about, when I say there are many subcurricula or subcurriculums that makes up the British curriculum itself, there are many of them. To start with, we have the one we call the National Curriculum for England, National Curriculum for England. That's the parent British curriculum that gives birth to all other curriculums that are under the British curriculum. So we have the National Curriculum for England. That is for England, not for any part of the world. We have the curriculum for Scotland and Wales. Then we now have other curriculums. We have Cambridge curriculum, or Cambridge IGCSE curriculum. There is Oxford curriculum. There is also Oxford AQA curriculum. Oxford curriculum is for primary and lower secondary, while Oxford AQA is for the upper secondary. We have the Pearson Edexcel curriculum. There is NEAC curriculum, and many of them are like that. There are invented by different bodies, both the government body and also other private bodies or exam bodies. For instance, AQA is an exam body, Edexcel, and another exam body. AQA teamed up with Oxford, while Edexcel teamed up with Pearson. Pearson is a publishing house, our educational body. So those ones that have their own curriculums that are being used, still British. The name of the exams, each of them write, by the end of the primary, by the end of the lower secondary, by the end of the senior secondary, by the end of the A level, they differ. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll be focusing just on one of them, which is Cambridge curriculum, as a case study or a case study of British curriculum. So now, if you look at the screen, you can see a bus that is notable for England, and on it is the globe of the world. It means that the UK has a curriculum or has curriculums that are tempered, modified, customized to fit into other parts of the world. Okay. And the aim of it is that children in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone will know more, will know beyond their country. They will know other parts of the world, global awareness. So another global awareness that you bring in, that you include into the Nigerian curriculum. So the Nigerian curriculum sustains and keeps the Nigerian identity. You can see the drum and map of Nigeria. So combine Nigerian identity, which the British curriculum must not swallow, no, plus global awareness, plus global understanding, makes a child, this child you're seeing here, makes that child a child that has a world-ready skills, not national-ready skills, not Nigerian-ready skills, world-ready skills. Let me give you a case study also, an example. There was a young man about 6 years ago that invented, the guy was very good in coding and robotics. So he invented, what do you call it? He invented a robot. So Stanford University, where the CEO of Facebook and the CEO of Google graduated from, they heard that there was this young man who is not even in the university yet, who had come up with a robot, and that robot was a game changer. Guess what happened? Stanford University gave the young man a letter of admission without the young man applying for admission. All expenses paid. He was being flown to Stanford in the US, and I think he should be in the final year by now. World-ready skills. Robotics is not part of the thing that is known for Nigeria. We know what we are known for. So it is this kind of education that exposed that young man. There's also a school in Ota, that is known to win mathematics Olympiad, not only in Nigeria, not only in Africa, but all over the world. Children from that school, they always beat children from the UK, from the US, from China, from Russia, and all those big name countries. Why? Because they are being exposed global awareness, while still sustaining Nigerian identity, making them to be world ready in skills. We'll be talking more on skills later. Now, you're asking yourself again, why? So I've told us the first why, the little why, the shallow why. Now let's go to the deeper why. Why do you think it's necessary at all to include the British curriculum in our national curriculum? Why is it necessary? Do we at all need it? I've told us one of the reasons why it is needed, and I'll tell us more. Now, if you check nowadays, employers, even yourself, if you're a school owner, employers, they have stopped asking for somebody that has a first class. Check it again. Go back again to Guardian and check the Guardian Tuesday. You will not be seeing again first class this, first class that. Because when I finished my first degree in engineering, after spending about 5 years or thereabout, I didn't even know how to. I studied mechanical engineering anyway, mechanical engineering. I didn't know how to change a brake pad of a vehicle. I didn't know how to change plugs. I didn't know how to clean the contact set. I can't, and I spent 5 years there. Right? Now, the modern day employers do not look for academic results anymore. They don't seek for first class anymore. They don't seek for what you know in your head anymore. What they seek for now is what you can do. If you study mechanical engineering, you'll be able to do something mechanical. Either you can invent, you can create, or you can service mechanical gadgets like generators, like vehicles, like any other thing that have moving parts. If you study the electrical engineering, you'll be able to do electrical wiring, work in a transformer, fix fan, install things, everything at all electrical. If you study pharmacy, you study physiotherapy, you study geology, you study political science, you should be able to do something, not just tell us theories, calculations. That is not what anybody's looking for anymore. It is what you can deliver, what you can do, not what you know in your head. That is why if an accountant, if a graduate in accounting or a graduate in banking and finance, a graduate in marketing applies to a bank, if a bank employs such graduate in accounting, even if they have first class in accounting, no bank will put such a graduate that has first class to start work immediately. No bank does that. They will send those graduates, first class, second class, upper, second class, lower, they will send them to their own school, training schools, to go and be there for 3 months or 6 months. Now you're going to ask me, what were they doing in the university for 4 years studying accounting, if only 6 months is what will make them qualified to start work? The thing is that I'm telling us the deeper why we may need to integrate, to include, to blend the national curriculum with the British curriculum. You can see there that a typical employer seeks someone who can deliver, not somebody who can just tell us theories. Okay, that's what they're looking for. Someone can deliver. The modern employer now value human competencies, not just theories in your head. Imagine a graduate that finished electrical engineering and the fan in his room got spoiled. And the only thing he can do is to go and call Kola, who was a school dropout. And he is a graduate in electrical engineering. So now this one is going to take me back to what we learned in some of us that studied education. Maybe you did it during your first, I think it's usually during your first degree. What you call the scope of education. The scope of education is broken into 4 components. The first one is called the sociology of education. Second one is called the history of education. The third one is called psychology of education. And the last one is called the philosophy of education. Now, the psychology of education talk about how the brain learns. But philosophy shows why do we want someone to learn? What to make the child to love learning? What is the reason behind learning? What is the reason behind formal learning of doing in a school? The reason for it is not for someone to go and memorize theories and calculations. The reason for it is that in those days, at the very beginning, with people like Aristotle, what they did was they needed somebody who will possess the skills that are about to become extinct. They need people who will be politicians, very good politicians, people who can service their chariots, people who can make swords, people who can farm very well, people who can do many things: agriculture, farming, blacksmithing, medicine, geography, astronomy. So they then, because people who knew all those things, they are about to become extinct and go away. They needed replacement to train new generations, young ones, these skills, so that they'll be able to practice. But if you check Nigerian education, hardly will you see any program in the university that teach for practice. They teach to pass exams. But the British curriculum is not like that. So it is the one now that is able to fill in the gap that Nigerian curriculum is yet to fill. Yet to fill. But let me give us a good news. The good news is that since I became an adult, that should be about 49 years ago. I'm almost my late 50s now. This current Nigerian curriculum is the best. It's the one that aligns closely to what I'm just saying now, closely to a child learning to be able to acquire life skills that he can use now. Now, let me quickly review. So there are things that a typical employer is looking for now, right? You're looking for people who are critical thinkers, workers who can solve problems, real problems, not mathematics. So people who can collaborate, workers who are creative, teachers who are creative, teachers who are creative, and who can communicate very well orally or in written form. People who have personal and leadership acumen. All these things I mentioned now, they are called soft skills. They are embedded by default into the British curriculum. I don't know whether your school is Nigerian British, and you don't understand what I'm talking about now. That the soft skills or core skills, critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration and communication, creativity and imagination, citizenship, digital literacy, yes, digital literacy, and the personal and the leadership development is inside mathematics, inside English language, inside science, inside history, inside geography, inside global perspectives, inside humanities, inside modern foreign language, inside PE, inside digital literacy, inside computing, inside sociology, inside psychology, because sociology and psychology, they are part of secondary school subjects under the basic curriculum. They have been under the senior class. There is a subject called sociology for senior secondary school SS1, SS2, which are called year 10 and year 11. There's psychology, newly introduced psychology, that was last year for secondary school as well. There's also travel and tours inside secondary school. There are many subjects that unless you get to university, you cannot see it in Nigeria. So these soft skills are embedded in all subjects. So if you're running the British curriculum in your school, first one is which of the sub-curriculums of the British curriculum are you running? Let it not be that you're running the national curriculum for England. You hear the word for England, not for Nigeria, not for the world, and not of England, it's for England. So go back and check which of the British curriculums are we running. In case you don't know it, please identify it. Okay, if you can't identify it, then please get back to me. So every teacher that is trained in the British curriculum must understand how to embed these soft skills into lesson objectives so that it will come out as learning outcome. They will learn, they're always being trained to embed these core skills into classroom delivery. They also come up in question setting or test development. So that at the end of the day, a child that passes through Nigerian British or purely British is already an adult even as early as age 6 years old. Right? Now, we go to the next slide. So these are just some of the whys that you may need to for the children to be able to acquire skill. I was telling you about the scope of education. The major reason to learn is not to acquire knowledge. The major reason for formal education is not to acquire knowledge. It is never to acquire knowledge based on the history of education. One of the scope. It is that every child that learns every topic must gather a skill, either soft skill or hard skill, from that topic. For instance, a child learns greetings under social studies, and after any greetings, and the child does a classwork, and the child does not greet the teacher the following day, yet the child got 4 over 4 or 5 over 5 during the classwork. That is not the reason behind. The reason behind formal learning is not just to pass. It is to be able to use every topic length immediately, not even for the future, immediately right into the future. So the British curriculum shows you that every topic points a child to an aspect of their lives where they can apply that topic immediately and right into the future. Now, you can see here, what this just a kind of a further deeper why. Remember, deeper why is to unlock modern competencies. Now you can see also here another why that I have here for us is including the British curriculum into your classroom learning moves or transits learning in the classroom from rote to inquiry. You can see the first diagram, rational teaching the child sit down. The child sit down. I'll show you something now that will surprise you. This one here, you can see this one here that what we have by the diagram on my left, you see the normal way we learn in Nigeria. Today, some schools that call themselves international school, they still learn this way. They still learn this way. Whereby the teacher is still writing on the board, and then children will copy what's written on the board, and then they listen to the teacher dictating the fact. But whereas this is what it should be. Now look at the picture on your right. This one I just read now. Now you're gonna see that what you have here look like the nursery children. Oh yeah, it's not that learn this way. No, no. Under the British curriculum, this playful way, this learning through the fingers, learning through activities is not about the nursery. The British curriculum says that for anyone to learn a topic, and that topic will stick to the person's brain, and the person will be able to be a critical thinker, a problem solver, to be a good communicator, and also to be creative, the person must learn with the fingers. Must learn the fingers. That's why you see children here. But now, I'm surprised you now that this thing, this diagram you are seeing here, this scenario you are seeing here, is, according to the British curriculum, is not limited to the nursery. No, it is from preschool to the last class in the university. Throughout the preschool, throughout the primary, hands-on, lower secondary, hands-on, upper secondary, hands-on, university, hands-on. Now I'll be showing us schemes of work that are British scheme of work. I'm sure you can still see my screen. Yes, now good. I'll be showing us this scheme of work here. This scheme of work you are seeing here is, let me show you the class. It is digital literacy stage 3. Stage 3 means year 3 or grade 3 or primary 3. Now, let me show you how the British curriculum suggests that the child should be taught. For instance, we are all familiar with this part of the computer, hardware and software. This is a scheme of work prepared from our company, Economics Consulting. It's available for if you want to buy it. Now you say, look at the learning objectives. Ordinarily in Nigeria, learning objective in Nigeria will be if the topic is part of a computer, hardware and software. Learning objectives in Nigeria will be at the end of this lesson. Learners should be able to, one, define a computer. Two, list parts of a computer. Three, describes functions of each part of a computer. That will be the objective. But look at the objective here. It says it's just one. At the end of this learning, Learners should be able to identify hardware and software. Identify. If they will identify what will happen now, they will be able to see it and touch it and roll it in their hands. And for the teacher, if teacher is explaining to them, children, learners what they will hold each part of the computer in their hands and sort it into hardware and software. All right. Now look at week two topic on digital literacy under British. It is called using a word processor. Be familiar with what will be the objective and how the class is going to be. Okay. Define a word processor. List types of word processor. Look at what the objective says. It say at the end of the lesson, learners will be able to type a simple document and save it with a file name. How will the class look like? Learners, you can see teacher demonstrate typing in a word processor, formatting text, and saving a file. Learners type a short document format the text, and save it. It is not at all about teacher explaining. Now, this is for primary 3, age 8. That's why the diagram I showed you before that looks like maybe that is nursery class. It is not at all nursery class only. It is for all classes, from nursery to the primary to lower secondary and post-secondary, even to the university. That is how learning is manifested in the classroom of a British school or a Nigerian British school. Now, this is how it goes. Now, this one you're seeing here is just what we call ICT in Nigeria. Now, I'll show you more subject now. I'll show you more subject to show you the difference there. Now, no. Excuse me. Good. Okay, this is stage 1, age 5 to 6 children. Their own literacy. Later, I'll show you more subject. Yes. Let's see how they should learn literacy or ICT, as we call it in Nigeria. ICT. Now look at here. This is week 1, computer systems and hardware. So the objective says at this level now, they're able to explain what the computer is and give example of where computer is used. You can see what children will do there. They identify, meaning they go to the computer room to go and learn it and touch it. So for the week 2, computer system and hardware, teacher displays computer parts, displays it, not explains it. Not just draw it, teacher explains it. It displays it, not explains it. This is this is that. And demonstrate using the mouse and the keyboard. Then learners will now write label and paste it on what? Different part of the computer, especially the mouse and the keyboard. These are how to teach hands-on. What this curriculum suggests. So this diagram you are seeing here, excuse me. Oh, I'll tell you about the nursery. That is how this curriculum content is learned. That's what I call the culture of the British pedagogy. I just show you one of them now. Let me show you more subjects so I'll be giving you theories. Okay, this is science. Science for year 9. Year 9, it is JS3 that is being called year 9 under the British curriculum. Mrs. Adesola, if I'm still audible, please say I'm still audible. Adesola, please. Okay, let's go on. Okay, if you can hear me, can you please send me a chat that I can hear you? Drop a chat for me that you can hear me. If you can still hear me, drop a chat. Okay, thank you very much, Jeremiah. Thank you very much, Jeremiah. That's a very good one for me. Now, this one you're seeing here is science, Cambridge science, or science under the British curriculum. Let me show you how it goes. This is for which class? Which class is this? This is for excuse me. Okay, this is for GS3, which is called year 9. Look at it here. What's it? The topic is a chemical bonding. That's because topic is a what's a molecule. Okay, and now if you look at it, now you're going to see resources and activities. There, teacher displays range of molecular diagrams. Class identify whether each shows a single atom or a molecule. Now, activity two, group envoy discussion. That is what's called syndicate grouping or syndicate discussion. Group by group, they classify diagrams. Then, a representative visit other groups to share their findings. Peer learning. It's not the teacher who is talking there. All right. If you go further to more topics under chemical bonding, you see what they are doing there. Activity 1, counter exercise. Learners build sodium and chlorine atoms. They build sodium and chlorine atoms. Model. Okay? And you can see that activity 2, jigsaw model. Positive ion pieces slot into. So there are activities in chemistry. Sorry, this is just a lower secondary science. Activities. Classroom discussion. You can see it there. They are there. Classroom discussion. This is what they are learning there. Breaking into groups and learning through groups. This is topic here is plants under biology for GS3, right? And it is just there. So now this is about science. I'll show us somewhere now, maybe English language. Okay, this is mathematics for GS1. GS1 is called year 7. Okay, it's called year 7. You can see it here. GS1, year 7. Excuse me. So for this GS1 mathematics, one of the reasons why mathematics is a big problem here in Africa or in Nigeria is that teachers handle mathematics like theory. It's not theory. It's supposed to be a hands-on thing. And you can see, let me just give you the one that will be very clear to you very well. Okay, I'm coming. Good. Look at this topic here. Factors, multiples, squares, and square roots and roots. Let's see the activity there. There's activity there. There are activities there. Learners build cubes of a given volume using multi-link cubes to physically model the relationship between a cube number and its cube root. Then they now do what we do in Nigeria. Find the HCF and LCM of numbers. Activities. Simplifying expression on the algebra. Teacher introduces letters as unknowns and variables. Constant. Using concrete text, e.g. perimeter expression. Learners, what do they learn? They use algebra titles to physically collect like terms and expand bracket with a constant, recording each step as a written expression. Now, what is the learning objective under algebra? Yes, they're going to explain what a letter represents in an algebraic expression. They're going to simplify expression by collecting like terms. Now, this is where it will stop in Nigeria. Right? Apply distributive law to so very, very active things there. And that is how it goes in all more and more subjects that you have there. It is not at all about just the nursery. I think what I have here now is a typical scheme of work in English language for JS2. These three topics here. Let me pick a topic that I find. Okay. Look at this topic here. We have, this is broken into strands. We go to strands very, very soon. You can see here on the screen, we have listening strands, there is reading strands, there is use of English strands, there is speaking strands, and then there is writing strands. So that is how this curriculum is broken into 5 strands. And if you run through them, you see that each strand flow into each other. What they learn in listening will go into what they learn in comprehension. What they learn in comprehension is what will come up under use of English. English means grammar. Then there will be speaking. You know, in Nigeria, yeah, we have literary and basic society. Is an English substrand, English strand under you don't need to have that one at all, because children will always speak. They always speak. They will always listen. Doing a normal English language under British curriculum. All right. So that is high. So that is so what I'm talking about, the idea of learning through activity is not at all about the child will speak, other people will listen. It's not about the nursery. It's not about the nursery. It's not about the nursery. It is all classes. Now let me go back to my manual, to my slide, sorry. So I entered into a scheme of so you can see that this diagram by the right is not at all about the nursery. This is how teachers are meant to handle different classes, from preschool to the primary, to lower secondary, to upper secondary. For instance, now one of the easiest way to teach lunches are attitude in mathematics of SS3, which is called year 12 under this curriculum, is to use a very big orange or tangerine. Because if you peel a tangerine, you're going to see latitude, lines of latitude on tangerine after you peel the skin. If you cut tangerine into slices, you're going to see the equator, you're going to see everything. Use tangerine, just tangerine and knives to teach latitude and latitude. Imagine how so much fun it's going to be, unlike your time and my time when everything was so serious. Serious time. Teachers, the master teacher is frowning children to say, Wahala has come, this kind of topic, latitude and latitude. That's not so. Learning is fun because it is hands-on. Okay, so teacher easily has to become what? A facilitator. Now let me rush down. Now, there are five distinct models. 5 distinct models, or 5 ways that your school can run the British curriculum, or 5 ways you can become a British curriculum school, or 5 ways you can operate as a Nigerian British curriculum school. If you are still following me, give me a smiley. If you're still following me, let me see your smiley. Okay, I see that. Thank you very much. Wow. Now, there are many ways your school can become a British curriculum school or Nigerian British curriculum school. Okay, the first way or the first model is methodology only. I will explain it later. Second model is methodology plus blend. I will explain that one later. Third model that your school can operate as a British curriculum school is blend plus external exams. Number 4 model is formal ties with Cambridge. And number 5 model is outright British Academy. I'll explain what each model means. Let's go back to model 1, which is a methodology only. A school can become a Nigerian British school by simply adopting the methodology. Because one of the distinction between British curriculum and Nigerian curriculum, I told us before, is the method of teaching, which is what? Hands-on. You've seen it in the scheme of work that I showed you now, schemes of work that I showed you now. Everything is hands-on. Only few subjects cannot be handled hands-on. So you can decide to simply adopt the method of teaching that is British in nature, which is what I just told you now. It is hands-on, it is activities, it is inquiry-based, It is learner-centered. Because those activities that I showed you in the schemes of work, they are talking about what children will do, not just what children will say, what children will do. It's very easy to forget what you say, but how difficult to forget what you do. That's why if you know how to cook soup, that's why if you know how to cook soup, you know how to cook soup for life. So by simply adopt, okay, from now henceforth, we'll now begin to teach our children using this hands-on approach, using this inquiry approach, using this syndicate grouping approach, using the visual approach. The teaching now just simply adopt methodology. All right. That's so when you are using methodology of British, you're already a Nigerian British school because it will transform the Nigerian content totally. Your learning outcome will be so awesome, and children struggling in your schools, they will not all of them begin to struggle again because learning becomes fun, and then whatever a child learn, I told you, whatever a child learn through activity, through their fingers, they don't forget. Unlike what they learn through their ears. I always tell you that there are three learning organs in the body: the ear, the eye, and the fingers. Strangely enough, the least productive learning organ in the body, which is the ear, making children to listen, is the most used learning organ in the body. But that's not where we are today. I'm not training entirely. So if you make children to begin to, if your teachers begin to, if they adopt this methodology, which I've already mentioned to us before, you're already in Nigerian British Academy because it will show in children's lives. Number two model of Nigerian British school, or number two model of integrating, inclusion of British curriculum ideas into your school. It is that model one plus a blend. What's a blend? When you you adopt the British schemes of work, you add it to the Nigerian schemes of work. I didn't say you add, I'm sorry, you add Nigeria, not British, you add Nigeria to the British scheme of work. The Nigerian scheme that you have, you add it to the British. Don't add British to Nigeria. Add Nigeria to British. Anything you cannot find, anything, and you keep the British curriculum, the British scheme of work. You now look into the Nigerian curriculum, whatever thing that you is Nigeria, you know, as a British, you now add it to that British. So you now have a blend of the British curriculum. Though there are 5 steps when you're blending. It's not as easy as I say it. We have a training coming on the way. It's a 4 days training online. I would advise that you register yourself in your school. We have a part of the training that's called Dynamics of Curriculum Blending. We have the intercurricular blending. That's the step 1. Then we have the inter-subject blending. That's step 2. We have the intra-subject blending. That's step 3. We have the inter-topic blending, and so on and so forth. 5 of them. So it is after the step 1, you go to step 2, step 2 to step 3, until you get to the last step. So when you now have a blend of the British plus Nigerian, and you now teach Britishly using the methodology, then you are also what, in Nigerian British school already. Model 3 is model 2 plus more. Model 2, which is a methodology that is British or teaching Britishly, plus a blend of Nigerian and British schemes of work, plus writing British external exams. For model 2, you're just using the scheme of work as a blend. You're not writing it, you continue to write your Nigerian exams. Model 3, you are running the blend of the 2 curriculums, two schemes of work, and then you now begin to sit for Cambridge checkpoint or Cambridge HSSE, or you sit for Oxford IB, some school run Oxford, so they do international baccalaureate exams. Okay, so you can be in a Nigerian British school without writing checkpoints or IGCSE exam by adopting Model 2. Model 3 is more. You now begin to write exams. Model 4 is that you adopt the methodology to teach Britishly, plus a blend of the two schemes, plus writing external exams, plus becoming a partner school with any of these British exam bodies, with Cambridge, CAI, with Oxford, or with Pearson. Model 3 stops at just writing exams. So you can write exams, checkpoint for primary, checkpoint for lower secondary, and IGCSE for upper secondary and A level without registering with CAI or without registering with British Council. You just register the children. You drill the children in the curriculums, and then register your children with with a school that is a Cambridge partner school, or Oxford partner school. You want to that's the way we do normally with WAEC as well. So you register with them, and you know one thing: when you start writing external exam on Cambridge, either checkpoint for primary, checkpoint for lower secondary, access for upper secondary, you make a lot of money as a school. You make a lot of money as a school. Oh my God, you make so much money because when it is pay per subject. That's what they do. Like for checkpoint in the primary, they write only 3 exams. They write exams in only 3 subjects. For lower secondary, only 3 subjects. It is in the upper secondary, I say that they write minimum of 5, maximum of 7 subjects. And of course, if CI you say a subject costs 10 naira, you know that you're going to be paid 13 naira. And then go and get started with another school with 12 naira and you have 1 naira for yourself. And now, but if you now go to, so already you are still in Nigerian business school without being registered or acknowledged by CIE or Business Council. But when you can now go all out to Model 4. Model 4. Oh, we will teach Britishly. We use a blend. We will write external exams and we also become a partner school. When you're a partner school, you make more money. Why? How? Because other schools will come and register with your school. How? Because CAI, through the Business Council, will be giving you money whenever they use your school as a center for their exams or as a center for their trainings. You make a lot of money. The last way that Nigeria, a school in Nigeria, can become a British school. The first one, Model 1, Model 2, Model 3, Model 4 of integrating British curriculum to Nigeria, it's Nigerian, British. But Model 5 is outrightly a British Academy. You've heard it before. Caleb British Academy, Lekki British Academy. You've heard about Turkish Academy, and so on and so forth. Those ones, they got nothing at all to do with Nigerian content. It's purely British. In Nigeria, a Nigerian can start a British Academy, purely British. They won't do anything on Nigerian. They won't get a Nigerian exam, and nobody will stop you because that's how you register. There are many Nigerians that run British, purely British Nigerian. These are the 5 ways you can become a British school in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Sierra Leone. I will be stopping in the next 15 minutes. I've already dropped this manual on the platform. Why did I drop the manual? In case we may not be able to finish it, which is possible. So, because I was stopped for us to ask questions. But notwithstanding, a training is coming, probably organized by Bell's Edu Consult, organized by EduNoms. It can be anybody can organize it. You don't at all disturb each other. So now let's look at the structure. Remember, we said structures and strands. Now, we understand the structure of the Nigerian educational terrain. We have the ECCDE for the nursery in Nigeria. Similar to that in the British, we have the EYFS. That's what we have under British. EYFS is what we have under British. All right? Excuse me? Yeah, the EYFS is what we have under British. That is, EYFS is the learning framework that is being used in the nursery. And there are two of its type. There's one by the one run by Oxford and Cambridge. No, Oxford and the government. Okay, Department for Education, DFE. They run the same thing with Oxford, but Cambridge runs a different thing. For the first two, for the Department for Education and Oxford, they say their own LES start from age 0 to age 5. So nursery ends at age 5, 0 to 5. So EYFS is 0 to 5. But you can come across what's called Cambridge EY, Cambridge Early Years. EYFS, you can see what EYFS means on the screen. Early years present stage is ages 0 to 5. But Cambridge Early Years, this EYFS was being brought into use in 2008 and has been reviewed almost every 2 times, every 2 years or every 3 years. Recently, last 2 years, Cambridge came up with their own early years, because before Cambridge was not known for primary and secondary and A level and university. But last 2 years, they came with their own nursery as well. They came with their own nursery as well and they call it Cambridge Early Years. Now, after the early years of the Cambridge, EYFS for nursery as British, they have to call, the way we have it in Nigeria, we have BEC in Nigeria, basic education, 9 years. Similarly, we have year 1 to year 9, and that one is called checkpoint under the British curriculum. We have a framework for the early years, age 0 to 5. We have another framework for the primary right through into secondary. Unlike Nigerian system, the number of subjects run in the primary is the same thing run in the lower secondary. So, and the two of them, they are both called checkpoints. So at the end of primary 6 or year 6, they use either year or stage. So if you're in a Nigerian school, you shouldn't be saying in primary something, grade something, grade something. You should be saying stage something or year something in your school. So we will see the subject that they run now very soon. The subject they run, okay, from at the year 1 to 9. Then after the checkpoint program, the next one is called IGCSE. That is for upper secondary. It's called upper secondary, not senior secondary. Nigerian senior secondary, which is upper secondary. And in that one, a child is supposed to run to be offered about maximum of 7 subjects, maximum of 5 subjects, or 6 or 7. And there are many subjects being run like that. So we have the EYFS for the preschool, we have the checkpoint for the primary and lower secondary, we have the IGCSE for the upper secondary. And please note, there are only 2 years to be spent in the upper secondary, 2 years, not 3 years like our own. Now, the EYFS has 7 learning and development areas. There are no subjects under the EYFS. What they learn in the EYFS are not being called subjects, they are being called learning and development areas. Learning and development areas. And there are 7 of them. You can see them being stacked up. You see math there. Mathematics. You see, especially art and design, EAD there. We have literacy. There's C and L, communication and language, PSED, personal social and emotional development, PD, physical development, and that's what understanding the world. These are the 7 L&D areas that are being learned or taught in the EYFS. So, and for this EYFS also, they what we call early learning goals. It's a kind of strands in the preschool. Okay, so for each of these L&D area that I told us now, you can see them, the 7 of them, they are being broken down. Go back to that manual that I dropped on the platform. You can see them, they are being broken down. Early learning goals simply means that what a child should be, 7 areas of that child's life that an improvement must be noticed before the child enter into year 1. They're called early learning goals. They are there on the screen. Okay, so over time, I have to pass. Then for why should the teacher be very confident with early learning goals? It's because it helps teachers to plan purposeful learning activities. It helps teachers to make reliable, it makes teachers to make sure that the child reliably exit the preschool. It helps teachers to monitor individual child's progress accurately. That's why there's a document we call progress trackers and progress summary. ELG helps a teacher to plan purposeful learning activities and communicate meaningfully to parents and so on and so forth. Now, let's quickly jump to checkpoint level. Now, before checkpoint level, look at it here. Checkpoint level, the subject at checkpoint level, they are 13, which a school should run only 12. You can't run the whole 13 for a reason, because there are 2 Englishes. If you pardon my English level, there is English language as a subject, and there is English as a second language as a subject. Now, each of these subjects, now what you see here, what we call strands here, are similar to what is called, what we call ELGs in the EYFS, are the same thing called strands at the primary and the lower secondary. And why strands? Let's go there before I tell us why strands. Let me check my time. Okay, this is okay. Okay, we'll stop in the next 3 minutes. The subjects under the checkpoint, which is year 1 to year 9, we have English as a first language, otherwise known as what? EFL. Then there is English as a second language. Mathematics is another subject. Then, excuse me. Now, each subject, let me go back. Let me continue. We have mathematics, then there is science, there is global perspectives, there is humanities, there is physical education, there's computing, there's digital literacy, there's art and design, there is music, there is well-being, there's modern foreign languages. Now, modern foreign languages, well-being, and humanities, they are new subjects, newly created, new subjects that were being introduced by Cambridge less than 3 years ago. Humanities was created 3 years ago, but no, sorry, no. Well-being about 4 years ago, but humanities and modern foreign language 2 years ago. Now, each of these subjects are broken into what is called strands. What are called strands? For instance, English language as first language, you can see reading, writing, and use of English. That's the correct one. While for English as second language, it has 5 strands: reading, writing, use of English, listening, and speaking. For mathematics, that one has 6 strands. Number is a strand, algebra strand, geometry and measure strand. We also have a handling data strands and the probability. Then for science, under year 1 to year 9, the strands are biology, chemistry, physics, health and space, science in context, and thinking and working scientifically. Global perspectives is also another subject that has strands. There is research as a strand, analysis as a strand, evaluation, reflection, collaboration, and communication. Humanities, very new subject, has just 3 strands. We have people strand, past strand, and places. If you check very well, people means social studies, past means history, places means geography. So it's combined together under humanities. And then we have computing and digital literacy, we have PE, other foreign languages, well-being. They all, you can see their own strands. So if you, that manual I draw for us, they are there as they're all there. So this is where I'm going to stop. Now, whether your school begins with a simple shift in Model 1 or pursues full academic integration as Model 5, the goal remains the same. The goal remains the same, which is what? The British curriculum framework equips Nigerian educators like you and I to build world-ready leaders, innovators, problem solvers, without losing homegrown mindsets. Any question? If you have a question, we spend the next 10 minutes on question and answer. If you have a question, you need to raise up your hand, ask your question, or you drop it as a chat if you can do that. Any question? Remember, just an introduction. The training itself is a 4 days, sometimes 3 days. Okay, I can see somebody's hand up. Okay, I can see many hands up. The first hand that I see up is Mr. KK. I'll call you first. Excuse me. I've seen 3 hands, and I won't take more than that. Okay. Before I call people that raised up their hands, somebody asked, how can one register our school under this program? Please contact me for that. We'll put you through. We guide you all through the beginning to the end of the exercise. So I will, Mr. Komoje Kazim, please unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself now and ask a question. Komoje Kazim, please unmute yourself. You're welcome, Madam Adebayo. Okay, let me go back. Let me go to Jennifer. Jennifer, please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Jennifer. Okay, Komoje Kazim, please go on, sir.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
really appreciate your effort, sir. I think I've gotten the clarification, but because at the later end of your conclusion, you made us to understand that the British curriculum gives the students the empowerment to become the world leader, and at the same time, not losing our own values. But when a school is operating or adopting full British curriculum in Nigeria, and we have our children, our citizens attending such school, are we really sure that they will have the rich culture of Nigerian value being learned and acquired in such a school that adopts full and pure British curriculum? That's just my own.
Okay, thank you very much. The issue of attending just a British school is an option for some people that, though they are Nigerians, they don't have business with the Nigerian society. Maybe they just maybe something just bring them to Nigeria briefly, and they have to go back after 5 years or 6 years. They put their children there. Also, other nationals that are not at all Nigeria, such school is for them. Okay, people who are not Nigerians, they attend such schools. People who are Nigerians, so the issue of culture, Nigerian culture, does not at all apply to them. They may be Nigerians, but they see that they are having the kind of school they can have in the UK right in Nigeria. So it's not for everybody. It's just for few people that they know that they don't have nothing much to do in Nigeria. That is what who such school is for. Then Jennifer, I will read this one that I typed. Jennifer, please. Please unmute yourself. Jennifer, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma.
Thank you, Mr. Israel. Okay, so
Thank
my
you.
question is on the subjects. The subjects we have in the first model of methodology, the second one methodology and
Blend.
then a
A
blend.
blend.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that is where we are now, because most of our children in the primary school and the key stages will finish and still take the common entrance, not the checkpoint, because we are not yet under the number 4
Model 3.
model 3 and 4. Yeah. So if that be the case, what do we do? Because most times our subjects are not the same thing you find in those schools where they will go for common entrance and where their parents would like to enroll them for their college education. So we have I'm personally challenged on that. So how do we do when it comes to this blending the subjects? Because I so much love the subjects for the blending for the British curriculum, but if you have to expose your children to common entrance, they may not understand some topics in those schools and in their curriculum.
Okay. I mentioned, thank you very much for your question. I mentioned the dynamics of curriculum blending as a subtopic in one of our trainings. We do trainings. There's a training we call Pedagogy of the British Curriculum. We do it. Even as of now, we have past trainings recorded, 5 days, 6 days training recorded. So it is in that place that we will show you how to effectively blend the Nigerian scheme with the British scheme. And contrary to what you said, almost all the Nigerian subjects, almost all of them are parallel with the British subjects. That's number one. Let me start. Maths is maths. English for English. Science for science with BST. Religion and national value goes with humanities. History goes with humanities. ICT in Nigeria goes with digital literacy and computing, and so on and so forth. Okay, so they are parallel. And even the one that just came out now under the LDC are more parallel than before with the typical typical business curriculum. So it is because you don't know how to blend it. So we have a training that we cater for that dynamics of curriculum blending. So just keep a tab on on Bell's Edu Consult, or keep a tab on Legends Consulting, either of the two of them. So when the training comes up, we'll show you how to do it. It is so very simple to blend and requires 5 progressive steps to blend effectively. And when you blend effectively, your children will not fail any exam. That is Shobanka. I'm telling you from experience of more than 18 years, your children will not fail. Children fail exams, common entrance when the scheme is not blended. Number 2 thing you should know about the subjects, about the scheme of work, is that each of the Nigerian subjects parallel to this subject, they are about 65% the same. What we call use of English in the British is called grammar in Nigeria. A noun is a noun, adjective is an adjective, part of speech. Concord is concord, okay? Active and passive voice, they are the same thing. They are not different from Nigeria, the way they are different in the UK. You can see it now. If you go to science, air is a topic, air is air, periodic table is periodic table, electricity is electricity, circuit is circuit, they are all the same. So the only about 20% difference you can see, and that's the highest. If you go to upper level to SSC, chemistry, physics, and biology at the senior level, chemistry of the IGCSE and chemistry of Nigeria, they are 92% the same. Physics, they're about 90% the same. Economics, they're about 80% the same. It's only literature they are miles apart. They don't even at all meet. Literature, further maths, they don't meet at all. They are totally apart. But most subjects, what you will find in British, you find in Nigeria. But in British, it is Nigeria is content heavy, while British is in depth, very, very in depth, and live application and unforgettable. So appropriate and effective blending of your schemes of work will prevent failure. So when the training comes up, please make sure that you join with your staff. So now let me quickly read the piece on here. I saw your name, your hands up before, so maybe your question has been answered. Now, YDN here, do you have the British curriculum blend with the new Nigerian curriculum for sale? Do you have a website where one can see all the services you render? You can speak to me. I've already dropped my number in the chat box. All right, I'm putting it for you again. And yeah, we have a website, okay, which I don't know. It's not www or whatever. It is just type economics consulting on your browser. It's going to jump out. About 2 or 3 of them jump out. Then regarding the blend, so far what we have been able to blend is the EYFS with the current Nigerian NRDC curriculum. We've actually blended the EYFS, but for the primary and the secondary, it is in the process. We've not yet finished blending the primary, okay? And the primary, we've not finished blending the primary, but we have finished blending the EYFS. The process of blending the primary and lower secondary is ongoing, but before we can finish that one, it's going to be by the end of this July, before we can finish blending the Nigerian primary to British primary, Nigerian lower secondary with British lower secondary. So they also with IGCSE as well for upper secondary. I shall know that before the middle of August, all the blend process will have been completed. And for now, what we have is blended EYFS, then pure British for primary, pure British for lower secondary, pure British for IGCSE. So that's what we have for now. Then, and they're for sale. Yes, you can chat me up on that number I sent to you for sale. And those ones I show you, they are just the samples. Samples, they are the ones for sale. You can see that they are very rich and highly comprehensive. If you buy them now and you attend our training, we're going to show you how to blend them by yourself. You can wait for the blended ones. Thank you very much. And lastly, I think I have one more. Okay, one more. Thank you so much, sir. Is there any practical way of teaching history since hands-on activities make the learners more competent? Yes, for history, a practical way of teaching history, one of them is called dramatization. Second one is use of video clips for them. And the third way is making them to visit museum and historical sites. So that's the third way. So those 3 ways, they are the ways that to teach history. Dramatization, use of video, taking them to historical sites and taking them to the museum. Those are the ways to go about it. So thank you very much, Madam Adesola. So this is where we're going to end tonight's session. It's a free session, but it's been recorded. It's been recorded on YouTube. When you get back to the personal platform, you're going to see the YouTube link there. Simply click on it, and you will see you'll be able to access this recording anytime you want to record it. If you need certificate for the training, speak to Mrs. Adesola for certificate. Even though it's a training, it's a free one, I'm sure it'll be impactful for you and for me as well. On this note, I will hand over back to Mr. Adesola to tell us to close. Thank you very much. Am I okay? Okay, please, Adesola, I need to unmute you, right? So sorry, please. I didn't meet you. It's system that meets you, that muted you. Please unmute yourself, ma. Okay, good. Sorry, unmute yourself again. Okay, good.
Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear.
All right. Participants, can you hear me? Please drop your chat. Please chat or put your
Okay,
chat
let
box
me
and
make
chat if
everybody
you
to
can hear
unmute
me.
themselves.
Okay, you can even unmute everybody now, sir, since we are rounding up already.
Okay, all of you can
All
unmute
right, a
yourself
big
now.
appreciation to Dr. Adedamola Israelolofa for the introduction of British curriculum and the inclusion to the Nigerian curriculum. We appreciate you. We say thank you, sir. And we
You're welcome.
hope when we come for you next time, you show up for us.
Okay, pleasure.
You're a coach, you're a role model. We look up to you, and we
Thank you
hope to
very
see
much.
more of you.
Thank you.
I want us to know, all educators on the platform tonight, I want us to know that there is no free town. I want us to know that when we shall be organizing the full package, the British curriculum or inclusion, we are going to go into details. And we're not going to have any crash program on it. We're going to do it bit by bit for more understanding. And we're just going to, pay token for the trainings. And it's going to be in form of course now or a program. We're running for us as a program. So I want to appreciate everyone for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you to those who asked questions. And if you still need to ask more questions, you can do that on Bell's educational consult platform. And Edunum is organizing a program soon. You're going to see the post on Bell's educational consult platform. Please key into it. It's an opportunity for us. Degree alone is not enough. NCE alone is not enough. Master's degree alone is not enough. These are what we call the in-service trainings that we will be engaging in as educators to prepare ourselves for future, because the olden days method of doing it is no more working for these Gen Zs, and even the Gen Zs are now producing alpha generation. Therefore, we need to step up our games and we have to hit the ground running. And I pray that as we do so, the Lord will continue to uphold us and the Lord will continue to advance us in our various fields in the name of Jesus, inshallah, because of our Muslim brothers. And I also want to tell us that I think Dr. Adedamola has told us that if you want a certificate for this introduction training, you can send a DM to Mrs. Adeshola. Just go to the Bell's educational platform. You're going to see me as one of the admins there. Just send me a DM, and we tell you the token you're going to pay for the certificate. Also, we're going to be unveiling different types of training on our programs. And the Bell's educational platform is here, to train teachers, to train us, not only to work in government schools. Many of us are aspiring working as a government teacher. No, you could be working under a private organization. Now you equip yourself. You can be stand out, and this is what can make us stand out as an individual, as an educator. And after this program, we're going to open the Bell's educational platform. You are free to network. If you have any online or physical businesses that you do, you could go there, advertise. I'm going to open it for everybody, and I'm going to give us like 2-3 days to advertise our products, because we need to patronize one another. We need to grow together. We can't leave anyone behind, because when our generation is no more, whatever we have passed across to upcoming generation is what will be invoked, and the Lord will continue to uphold us. And let us try to step up our games by becoming a techie educator. Become a techie educator. That is where the world is going into now. And the Lord will continue to uphold us in the name of Jesus and inshallah.
Sound sleep. Good night, everybody. Thank you once more, Dr. Adedamala Israel Olofa.
Thank you too. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.